better not rip this.
If you were a wrestling fan growing up in the late 80s to early 90s, then chances are you watched the WWF, or better known today as the WWE, which is still the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. It's the company that gave us the likes of Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho Man, Bret Hart, and many, many more. And yeah, pro wrestling isn't real, but as a fan, you were invested in the matches, you were invested in the stories and the characters. So none of that shit really mattered. Wrestling has created some of the most fondest moments for me as a kid. In fact, me and my cousins would go out on the trampoline and reenact some of those moments, which we would end up hurting each other. But still, good times. That is until we got introduced to the world of wrestling video games, which gave us the power to recreate our favorite matches, make fantasy matches, and hell, we could put ourselves into the game. I mean, what more could you ask for as a kid? Besides begging your parents to go to an autograph signing, but still, what more could a kid ask for? But nevertheless, as much as I want to talk about my favorite wrestling games of all time, today we're not going to be doing that. Instead, we're going to be playing the NES WWF games. Cause let me tell you something, brother, these games are notoriously bad and the only person that can do the job is Pirate Canvas. So what you gonna do when Pirate Mania plays shitty wrestling games with you? The first game we're going to take a look at is WWF WrestleMania, which was the first licensed NES game released in 1987, published by Acclaim and developed by Rare? That's right, the same Rare that gave us GoldenEye 007, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, and Donkey Kong 64 made WWF WrestleMania on the NES. Let that sink in.
You gotta be joking me!
When you start up the game, you get greeted with perhaps the most horrifying image of Hulk Hogan ever ill-conceived. Seriously, why didn't you ask Tony Atlas to draw you a good picture of Hulk Hogan?
What? Don't have a clue.
Oh, but you gotta love the slogan to this game. Bigger, better, badder. I wonder. Anyways, in this game, you have the option of singles match or tournament mode, where you go through the whole roster, which I gotta say, the game at least has a good roster of wrestlers to choose from. You have Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the Honky Tonk Man. Cause you gotta have the Hunkster in the game, you gotta have the Honky Tonk Man, cause everybody loves the Honky Tonk Man, even Kane. As for the gameplay itself, it's nothing too special. You stumble around the ring until you eventually hit the guy, which this game doesn't require any skill at all. Each wrestler has an energy meter, which you fill up by collecting icons that get tossed in the ring. And each wrestler has their own specific icon that they can collect. Like Andre the Giant collects big slabs of ham, the Honky Tonk Man collects guitars, and Hulk Hogan collects wooden crosses? Where do you think I get these 24-inch pythons, brother? It's not from the vitamins, it's from the prayers, brother. Yet by far the worst aspect in this game is the controls. Like seriously, I couldn't figure out how to pull off any signature or finishing move, which I don't think you even can. I know you can do a body slam, punches and kicks, a cartwheel, and a flying elbow from the turnbuckle, which is supposed to be the Macho Man's finisher, but good luck connecting with it. You can also hold the B button to run through the ropes, but good luck connecting with any moves as you'll just knock yourself on your ass over and over. But the worst thing about the controls is pinning your opponent. Like seriously, I have the guy's energy all the way down, he's laying there flashing on the ground, and yet I can't seem to pin him. I'm pushing every single fucking button that I possibly can, which there's only 2 buttons! For some reason, you have to push some sort of combination of buttons in order to pin. I mean, this isn't fucking Mortal Kombat, nor is it fucking rocket science. Just have one button for the pin. But nevertheless, there really isn't much good I can say about this game. The music for each wrestler sounds alright for the most part, and the wrestlers look like their real life counterparts, but everything else about this game just sucks. The controls suck, and with the lack of signature and finishing moves, there just wasn't much thought put into this game. And that's all I have to say about WWF WrestleMania, but we got 3 more games to go through. Oh boy. Moving on to the next game, WrestleMania Challenge. This game was released in 1990, also developed by Rare, yet this time published by LJN, which they would go on to publish the other games after this one. WrestleMania Challenge is actually a slight improvement over the last game, which isn't really saying much. But let's talk about the good aspects of this game. One of the things that I really like about this game is the fact that you have more options when it comes to match types. Of course, you still have the single match mode, you also have a tag team, a handicap, a 3-on-3 Survivor Series match, and a championship mode, which is basically your standard tournament mode. You also have a much bigger roster, as this time you have Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Macho King Randy Savage, The Ultimate Warrior, The Big Boss Man, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Ravishing Rick Rude, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and yourself, which is the wrestler that you play as in championship mode.
That's right, Ultimate Warrior. I'm coming for that WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Otherwise, my name isn't yourself.
The game itself is in isometric style, where you can move around any direction you want. Hell, you can even go outside the ring, and also there's a crowd, unlike the other game, which actually adds to the overall feel of watching a wrestling match on your TV. Not only that, the energy bar makes a return, however, it works differently from the other game. Instead of collecting icons, all you have to do is stand there and do nothing, and it gradually builds up by itself. Yeah, I'm not kidding. But I gotta hand it to the developers that the controls are a whole lot better in this game. You also pin by just pressing the B button, so no more weird button combinations. Also, there is a lot more moves to your arsenal than in the previous game. However, moving around is a bit sluggish, and while I'm glad there's more moves, the problem mostly lies with how each wrestler plays, and that most of them have the same moves. So there really isn't much difference of who you play as. Yet, one of the biggest problems I have with this game is the fact that I can't seem to get back in the ring, and I end up losing via countout. And don't bother doing any turnbuckle moves, because otherwise you'll just land outside the ring. Which, once again, I must iterate, I cannot get back inside the ring. But needless to say, WWF WrestleMania Challenge is a slight improvement over WWF WrestleMania, which isn't saying much. But let me just say that this game is miles ahead of the next game we're going to be talking about, which is WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. Oh shit. WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge was released in 1992, published by LJN, and was not developed by Rare, but by another developer, Sculptured Software, who are best known for developing the SNES port for Doom, the Super Star Wars series, as well as most of the SNES ports of Mortal Kombat, which I guess is interesting to know. It's just too bad that Steel Cage Challenge is one of the worst wrestling games I've ever played. Like, seriously, this is a huge step down from the previous game. In this game, we get 10 wrestlers to choose from. You have Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Ted DiBiase, IRS, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Jake Roberts, Sid Justice, Roddy Piper, and the Mountie. Because you gotta have the Mountie, eh? Everybody loves the Mountie, eh? Even Sid Justice. Yeah, there's no beating around the bush. This game sucks. The controls just suck, as I can't even seem to pull off any other move besides a power slam, as well as your standard punches and kicks. You can also climb the turnbuckle and run the ropes, but good luck connecting any moves from it, cause you'll always fail. Also, the wrestlers move a lot slower than they did in the previous games, which I get that they were kinda going for a more realistic movement, but this just comes off as tedious as fuck. The main feature of this game is, of course, the steel cage match, which all you have to do is drain your opponent's energy, then just start climbing the cage with the directional pad. What sucks about this is that if your opponent gets up, then you are forced to stop climbing the cage, which is stupid. Yet that's not even the dumbest aspect about this. Now, in a normal cage match, you're supposed to climb over the cage. Not in this game. All you have to do is climb the top of the cage and you win. Seriously, did the developers watch a cage match before making this shitty game? Now, the music is the only thing that this game gets right, but listen to the crowd. Like, it sounds like the fucking ocean. So yeah, WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge is the worst game out of the bunch. It has awful controls, awful sound and graphics, and the lack of moves. Again, why can't they get the finishers in these games? I'm sick of seeing the same repetitive moves and the monotonous gameplay. And we are just down to one more game, guys, so please, for the love of fuck, give me something good. I mean, at least let it be a golden turd. I'll accept that. Just give me something. The last game on our list is WWF King of the Ring, released in 1993 and was developed by Grey Matter Inc., which this was their last game that they ever made. It wouldn't surprise me if Vince McMahon made the call himself.
You better have the game finished by next week, or else you're fired.
But, sir, we haven't put all the signature moves in it, nor do we have any finisher moves. Hell, we don't even have a submission system.
Well, I don't give a damn. I want the game to be out as soon as possible, because it's gonna be some good shit.
Nevertheless, the game has 11 wrestlers to choose from. Of course, you have Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, Bam Bam Bigelow, Yokozuna, Mr. Perfect, the Narcissist Lex Luger, and you, which is a wrestler you get to name and customize your own stats. And yeah, the game includes a stat system, which each wrestler has their own stat, as there are some wrestlers who are more agile and quicker, or there are wrestlers who could take abuse in the ring. However, the problem is that it doesn't really matter who you choose, because here we are again stumbling with the same problem as the other games. The lack of variety in moves, because each wrestler has the same moveset in this game. Oh, but they included a suplex in this game! Despite the fact that it took them 4 games to get us a suplex, but there it is! As for the overall gameplay itself, it's kinda fun. The controls are simple, you can easily get in and outside the ring, you can climb the turnbuckle, and you can actually control where you land! Oh my gosh, a novel concept! But nevertheless, WWF King of the Ring is the best WWF game on the system. But that's not really saying much, as the game has problems. It doesn't have great graphics, it doesn't have great sound, and not only that, the lack of moves, which seems to be a problem with most of these WWF games. As licensed games, they utterly fail at representing their licenses properly. Even though one of them might be worth playing, I still would not recommend you to play any of these WWF games unless you want to. Which, if you do decide to play these games, play at your own risk.
And that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more reviews like this one. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go watch some more of those empty arena shows, because they're a lot worth it than playing these shitty games. See ya!
What you gonna do when Pirate Mania runs wild on you?